Cherry, cruise control, look at the glow, amazing. Cherry, flame of fire, here to devour, blazing. Swing low, please save me from all the ones that hate me. The Israelites stay patient, returning home to our nation. Cherry, cruise control, look at the glow, amazing. Cherry, flame of fire, here to devour, blazing. Swing low, please save me from all the ones that hate me. The Israelites stay patient, returning home to our nation.
Used to ride 85 in the box Chevy. Then my Bible came alive, scriptures knocking heavy. 215s, now it's 316s. But I'm talking about Habakkuk, man, cause you Christians crazy. All I do is think of Jude Truth, 1989. Now all I see is troops, cause of 1969. Flames coming soon, all I see is turpentine. But I can barely see no evil, I'm legally blind. See no evil, fit no ego, love of money, root of evil. Humpback, eye of needle, crooked letters, spell I eat them. Neglect must I never feed them, thoroughbreds I gotta breed them. Brilliant minds I gotta free them, some can't go, I gotta leave them. Extraterrestrial, pray I become celestial. Extraterrestrial, pray I become celestial. Rizzle.
Cherry, cruise control, look at the glow, amazing. Cherry, flame of fire, here to devour, blazing. Swing low, please save me from all the ones that hate me. The Israelites stay patient, returning home to our nation. Cherry, cruise control, look at the glow, amazing. Cherry, flame of fire, here to devour, blazing. Swing low, please save me from all the ones that hate me. The Israelites stay patient, returning home to our nation. End to end, cut off the thief, I can't take it here. Forever dead and paying dividends. Reparations to Jerusalem for everything that they stole from them and all the lies that they sold us here. Take me home, flying through the air. The speed of light is your first gift. The firmament about to crack it. Leviathan release the kraken. The angels here to get it cracking. I'm leaving it all, no packing. No Lot's wife, not looking backwards. Let my people go from their shackles. We beat the nation down to a fraction. And my God about action. Black as the cold, ruling the globe. This ain't new to my people, we heard it before. The sheep hear his voice and they instantly know this is our independence, yeah, we got to go. Wow, more than conquerors, fight every trial. No time to waste, the timing is now. Pow, space age profit. Yeah, it's going down, just wait for the crown. Judah is bold as a lion. Hey, drop me off in Mount Zion. Hey, teleport to pass the time. Hey, the Israelites, we about to shine. Babylon, burn to the ground. Listen up for them trumpet to sign. Them chariots fly, oh. Cherry, cruise control, look at the glow, amazing. Cherry, flame of fire, here to devour, blazing. Swing low, please save me from all the ones that hate me. The Israelites stay patient, returning home to our nation. Cherry, cruise control, look at the glow, amazing. Cherry, flame of fire, here to devour, blazing. Swing low, please save me from all the ones that hate me. The Israelites stay patient, returning home to our nation.
Spaceship to the spaceship that's flying. Share your beams you see in the sky. Scariest thing you see with your eyes. There's niggas and fringes that look like God. Black as the image Ezekiel saw. Angelic creatures don't look like a dog. Four heads, never heard one of them bar. Got a whole lot to say, where do I start? Precepts. Dust on my shoulder, I need sweat. Isaiah 60, they need help. The build of these walls, foundation and all, and they about to get it. Soon as I get home, yeah, they about to get it. You wanna get on and get in the spirit. Sauce in this dripping, ain't looking for chickens. Be strong in the Lord, pop out with the spinach. I'm living whenever my people get shot down in the streets. Zechariah was a beast, prophesying in the east. It's going down to say the least. The 11 rise, that's the yeast, the sin in our members. When Babylon fall in the temple, Christ called us this go in December. Captives, read his word and remember. Greatest people on the earth. I know that it hurts. Mama been crying, brothers been dying. Where's the mirth? It ain't in the church. You heard it here first. My people, God's only chosen. Holy is heaven, chairs, then we roll it. Gone.
Cherry, cruise control, look at the glow, amazing. Cherry, flame of fire, here to devour, blazing. Swing low, please save me from all the ones that hate me. The Israelites stay patient, returning home to our nation. Cherry, cruise control, look at the glow, amazing. Cherry, flame of fire, here to devour, blazing. Swing low, please save me from all the ones that hate me. The Israelites stay patient, returning home to our nation.
Shalom Mashpaka. May peace, serenity, and prosperity be multiplied unto you all. Kalala ba yasha ba shuma mashiach ya shaba wakatam te wara ba halewa ya. The bar Mashpaka. Welcome in. So tonight we got yet another vital topic. Shalom, true follower, welcome in. And Khan, returning home to our nation. Khan, just as the song said, it's in the air. It's in the air. The spiritual senses are tingling. We know something's up. We know the whole world knows something big is about to happen. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen. But for everybody who's spiritually in tune, we definitely can feel something's about to happen. Spiritually, through the spirit, through the Ruach Kodash. So all praises to the Most High for that. Now, what we're going to cover tonight is something that we experience in this life. And that's experiencing the wilderness. What I mean by the wilderness, when things aren't actually going your way, or you're put in unfamiliar territory in a certain part of your life where what you're used to is no longer what's available, right? You have challenges at hand. You have threats and dangers that constantly present themselves to have you shaken up, to have your confidence shaken, to really take a jab at your faith. You see, when you're in the wilderness, when you're physically in the wilderness, there's no man-made construct of order. You know, versus when you're walking through the wilderness, you have to be alert to an extent. You can't just walk willy-nilly like as if you're walking down the neighborhood, or if you're walking through the mall, or if you're walking through a city plaza. No. There's many things you have to look out for in the wilderness. You have to look out for wild beasts. You have to look out for snakes and other animals within the wilderness that can pose a threat to you. You have to be on alert. You have to be cautious of these things and not walk into them. Well, when you're in the wilderness of your life, you have those certain threats at hand as well. However, this wilderness is a spiritual wilderness. It's a state of uncertainty. And in that state of uncertainty, all of your spiritual prowess has to be exercised. And we're going to start this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of how to exercise such spiritual acumen in such times where things can be austere, uncertain, and challenging, to where it shakes your confidence and attempts to shake your faith. So we're going to go to no other than Mashiach in the book of Matthew, chapter 4. Starting from the top, we're in the book of Matthew, chapter 4, starting from the top. Then was Yahushua led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungered. And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the Son of Yah, command that these stones be made bread. So we see here that Yahushua was in the wilderness. And when he was in the wilderness, he fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. So from the gate, we see that the Yahushua was in the wilderness because he was in a season of leveling up. Because after he spent that 40 days and 40 nights in the wilderness, he accomplished many miracles. Keep that in mind. However, we see that Hashatan has presented himself to tempt him, to attempt to shake his confidence and throw down his faith. And while he was hungry, Hashatan used his craftiness and told him to turn stones into bread. How does Mashiach handle this? Verse 4. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of Yah. So we see here that Mashiach directly went to the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yah to confront Hashatan. Continuing on. Verse 5. Then Hashatan taketh him up into the holy city and setteth him on a pinnacle of the temple. And he said unto him, if thou be the Son of Yah, cast thyself down. For it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning thee. And in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. Yahushua said unto him, it is written again, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy Elohim. So we see here that Hashatan tried to tempt Hamashiach with arrogancy. Yeah, you the Son of Yah, so go ahead and jump down off of the pinnacle of this temple because the angels are going to save you. You the Son of Yah, the angels are going to save you. It's already been written. Referring to the book of Psalms, by the way. So Hashatan was trying to get Mashiach to kill himself. And how did Mashiach respond? It is written, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy Elohim. So here again, Mashiach used the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, specifically from the Thawara, to combat Hasatan and his trickery. Not one time in these two instances did Mashiach go to his own understanding, his fleshly understanding. No, he cleaved to the Spirit. Continuing on, verse 8. Again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them, and saith unto him, all these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Then Yahushua Salakyah. Then saith Yahushua unto him, get thee hence, Shaitan. For it is written, thou shalt worship Yahweh the Elohim, and him only shalt thou serve. So here we have Hashatan tempting him with all the rudiments of the world, tempting him to worship him so he'll give him all the riches and abundance of this world. And once again, Mashiach responds with the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Most High. You see, this is monumental here. This is key and monumental, because during these moments of wilderness, when we're in the wilderness, we're anticipating and praying for Yah to act in our favor. As we wait for the Most High to lift us up out of the situations that we face, Hashatan is very aware of that. And as we patiently wait for Yah to finalize our victory, Hashatan tries to creep in and get us to turn to the world. Oh yeah, he does. You know, he may bring you into recollection of certain things you did or certain benefits you had when you were living in sin. He may bring you to the recollection of what folly you used to indulge in and try to beguile you to think that that folly that you used to indulge in is better than what you're enduring now. Mashpakah, this is how many people fall out of the truth, because of that very last tactic that Hashatan tried to use on Hamashiach, where he presented all of the world to him and said, if you bow down and worship me, I'll give you all of this. Hashatan does that daily with folks. Sometimes it's at much increments as he presented to Mashiach, and sometimes lesser increments than what he presented to Hamashiach. But those lesser increments tend to be of great desire in the moment of one's endurance or struggle or desire while they're thinking carnally. So anytime we're seeing that a devil is in our ear during these times of the wilderness, Mashiach showed us that we must quickly go to the word. Khan, true follower. He's doing that to us all. He's doing that to us all. Everybody who's walking in the truth, we're all going through that somehow, some way. Nobody's facing these challenges alone who's in the truth. That's why we must stick to the word as closely as possible, because as I did in a previous live stream, it's all psychological warfare. That's a primary tool that spiritual wickedness uses against us, psychological warfare. And what Hashatan is doing here with Hamashiach is indeed psychological warfare. But we see here Mashiach pulled out the sword of the spirit on Hashatan and defended himself with the word of Yah. And that's how we must do anytime these devils or Hashatan himself pays us a visit. Now, the reason why this was recorded and the reason why Yah has this recorded while Mashiach walked the earth this certain instant is because Hashatan indeed has personally presented himself to us at one point in time. Yes, Mashpakah, he has. You may have not realized it. You may have not have noticed him, but we've all been face to face with Hashatan at least once. That's why it's recorded, and that's why Matthew chapter 4 is so important. It shows us how to combat and stand our ground against Hashatan himself. We're not just talking about one of his minions, one of his low-ranking devils. No, we're talking about Hashatan himself. See, if Hashatan pays you a visit, you cannot outwit him with your own intelligence. No, you can't. As we see here, Hashatan twisted up scripture to try to beguile Hamashiach. Hashatan is very intelligent, very intelligent. He's more intelligent than you and I or any other human being that's walking on this earth. Therefore, we stick to the scripts. We forsake our own understandings for that matter, because our own understanding is of the flesh, and Hashatan is a master manipulator of the flesh. Continuing on with the reading, Matthew chapter 4, verse 11. Then the devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him. So we see how Mashiach stood his ground against Shaitan. We've seen how he defeated Hashatan at that moment of temptation while being in the wilderness. That's exactly how we should be moving and operating out here. Is keeping our mind on the word, being sober and being vigilant. Continuing on with the scripts. Sirach chapter 30, verse 21. Give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thine own counsel. You see, when you're in the wilderness, Mashpakah, when you're in the wilderness, that psychological warfare turns up with these devils. Whatever your situation is, they may just rub the challenges in your face. Excuse me. Your self-talk at that moment is very vital. What you're telling yourself is highly important, Mashpakah. You have to be careful of your thoughts. You have to be careful of what you're spending your mental energy on with your thoughts. That's why Sirach 30 and 21 tells us not to give our mind over to heaviness. We are not to have a heavy mind, a mind full of negativity and sorrow. No. We're not supposed to be dwelling on our issues and problems or what could have been. No. No. When you do that, you're giving your mind over to heaviness, and whatever you're telling yourself that's in favor to that heaviness or that negativity is affliction of yourself and your own counsel. So what you're telling yourself should not be working against yourself. You should never be thinking about your situation or your challenges and dwelling on them. When you catch yourself thinking like that, you must switch it over to the opposite. And that's when you speak positive, godly affirmation over yourself. All in the favor of victory, success, prosperity, and abundance, and happiness and joy. Moving on to verse 22, Sirach 30:22. The gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. So we are to cleave to gladness and joyfulness, not misery, sorrow, anguish, worry. No, we are not to be of a heavy mind. Our mind is to be of gladness of heart and joyfulness, because that's what prolongs our days. Verse 23, love thine own soul and comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow far from thee. For sorrow hath killed many, and there is no profit therein. See, Hashatan and those spiritual demons want you to dwell on sorrow, on misery, on misfortune, on poverty, on lack, on negativity, on strife, on anguish, on regret. Anytime you're thinking in any of those are devils telling you to do that. They're convincing you and finessing you to be of a heavy mind and to afflict yourself in your own counsel. They're the ones who tell you you're not good enough. They're the ones that tell you you're not worthy because you may have fell short here or there. Anytime you fall short, they throw it into your face. Continuing on. Verse 24, Sirach 30:24. Envy and wrath shorten the life, and carefulness bringeth age before the time. So if you're dwelling on wrath and envy, jealousy, anger, you're killing yourself. And that's exactly what these devils want you to do. They're the ones who are talking you into it. When you're thinking on these things during your time in the wilderness, that's what's telling you to think on these things, Nashvaka. It is devils. It is devils, or it's Hashatan himself. Like I said before, we've all been face to face with Hashatan at least once in this life. That's why Matthew chapter 4 is so important. It shows us how to deal with the spiritual demon Hashatan when he shows up. Now, the thing about Hashatan, he's not omnipresent. He can only be in one place at one time. But we've all had an encounter with him at least once. So this is why we have to be on our P's and Q's spiritually and keep that sword of the spirit next to our hip. Sirach chapter 30, verse 25. A cheerful and good heart will have a care of his meat and diet. So during your time in the wilderness, Mashpaka, you're not just going to eat anything. You're going to watch what you eat. You're going to be careful of being gluttonous as well. That's having a care for your meat and diet. You eat the right proportions. You eat the right food. You're not here just being a glutton or just stuffing your face because you're trying to deal with a certain anxiety, or you're stuffing your face with comfort food. No, it says a cheerful and good heart will have a care for his meat and diet. So while you're in this wilderness, you're just not supposed to be gobbling down anything at any time just to comfort yourself or to make yourself feel good. No. You eat right. You nourish yourself right. You fuel your vessel appropriately. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 12. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 12. Seek not death in the era of your life, and pull not upon yourselves destruction with the works of your hands. So again, this goes back to being in the wilderness and you just allowing yourself to be overtaken by the challenges you're facing. You're allowing yourself to be overtaken with your woes and worries. When you're doing that, when you're allowing yourself to be overthrown by your mistakes, you're beating yourself up for certain mistakes you have made, you're seeking death for the era of your life. Our ancient wisdom told us what? Seek not death in the era of your life, and pull not upon yourselves destruction with the works of your hands. So don't be out here being foolish with your works, being careless and reckless, because you would allow yourself to be afflicted by your own counsel. You've given yourself over to heaviness of mind because those devils have finessed you. No. See, when those devils finesse you with that psychological warfare that I've mentioned, you will begin to move foolishly. You will begin to do things foolishly to where you bring destruction upon yourself. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 15. For righteousness is immortal. For righteousness is immortal. Verse 16. But ungodly men with their works and words called it to them. For when they thought to have it their friend, they consumed to naught, and made a covenant with it, because they are worthy to take part with it. Now, let me backtrack because I skipped a verse there in my reading. I'm going to backtrack to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 14 and 13. So you seek not death. We read that verse 12, seek not death in the era of your life, and pull not upon yourselves destruction for the works of your hands. Verse 13 says, for Yah made not death, neither hath he pleasure in the destruction of the living. So we already know that Yah's cutting people off left and right each and every day, but he doesn't have pleasure in doing it. That is being brought upon these individuals by their own works, which was just spoken of. Verse 14, for he created all things that they might have their being, and the generations of the world were healthful, and there is no poison of destruction in them, nor the kingdom of death upon the earth. And then that's when we just read verse 15, for righteousness is immortal. And verse 16, where I just left off at, but ungodly men with their works and words called it to them. So these ungodly people with their works and words called death to them. For when they thought to have it their friend, they consumed to naught and made a covenant with it because they are worthy to take part with it. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 23. For Yah created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Yah created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Verse 24, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 24. Nevertheless, through envy of Hashatan came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it. So put all that into context, Ms. Mashbaka. So we're not supposed to give our mind over to heaviness, because when we give our mind over to heaviness, we're listening to Hashatan. And if we're listening to Hashatan and his devils, we're cleaving to wickedness. And if we're cleaving to wickedness, we bring death upon ourselves. As Wisdom of Solomon just broke it down to us in the verses that we read. And if we're cleaving to Hashatan, we're going to find that death. So that's why we are to afflict ourselves in our own counsel with negativity and heaviness. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 12. For the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest, and the wandering of concupiscence doth undermine the simple mind. So while you're in the wilderness, the bewitching of naughtiness arrives through the craftiness and the devices of Hashatan to get you to dwell on your challenges, to get you to dwell on your shortcomings, to get you to dwell on your defeats. That's the bewitchment of naughtiness, which obscure the things that are honest. And the wandering of concupiscence, that goes hand in hand with that heavy countenance. Because once you have a heavy countenance from the heaviness of mind and you afflict yourself in your own counsel, that's when you begin to start thinking wickedly. That's when you begin to start thinking to move on the left-hand side to gain your advancements. How many times have people decided to move on the left-hand side because of their certain scenario or challenge? And as soon as they do that, they end up losing their life while they're committing such wickedness. They end up losing their life, or they end up being afflicted or harmed in some way, or even going to prison. That's what the Wisdom of Solomon is breaking down to us, Mashbaka. That very same result. How many people who were in a wilderness of their life decided to act on evil concupiscence, which are evil desires? They decide to act on those desires and end up facing immediate destruction or immediate recompense that doubles down on the hardships that they were already facing, that doubles down on the challenges that they were already facing, and puts them in a worse situation because they decided to move off of wickedness. They decided to allow Hashatan and his demons manipulate them into moving wickedly to where death shows up around the corner and death is right behind them or on their side to take them over. 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3. But I fear, lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, so your mind should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Mashiach. So Mashiach's example is very simple. That's why we started this lesson with the example of Mashiach. It's simple. But through bewitchment and through evil concupiscence, heaviness of mind, that simplicity of Mashiach gets cloudy. It gets faded to where you develop a desire to move wickedly because your patience gets robbed from you by spiritual wickedness. You want to fix and you want it right now. So therefore you're willing to move wickedly to obtain that advancement instead of waiting on Yah. Second Corinthians chapter 11, verse 4. For if he that cometh preacheth another Mashiach, whom we have not preached, or if ye receive another spirit which ye have not received, or another gospel which ye have not accepted, ye might well bear with him. So that simplicity in Mashiach can also be challenged while you're in the wilderness of your life and you have these different doctrines come your way. You have these perverse doctrines that come your way that speak smooth words and feel good messages, therefore deceiving you out from the potency of the truth into folly. This is another way many people fall out the truth, Mashpaka. They get deceived by different winds of doctrine during their moments of being in the wilderness. And as we started this, Mashiach showed us exactly what to do when spiritual wickedness presents itself while we're enduring and sustaining ourselves, waiting on Yah to give us our ultimate victory out of the situation and lift us on high and exalt us. See, Hashatan comes to rob us from that. That's why if we get any suggestions that are outside the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding and the righteousness of Yah, we are to resist it in this manner. Mashbaka. See, that evil concupiscence, those wicked thoughts that you have to hurry up and advance, all of that is finesse. It's game to run you completely off course and into death and destruction. 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 13. For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Mashiach. And no marvel, for Shaitan himself is transformed into an angel of light. So there you have it. That see what I just explained to you, the next verse fully broke it down. Those false apostles coming with their wicked doctrines, with their snake tongue, speaking smooth words that sound good to you. They sound good to you because of what you're enduring while you're in your state of wilderness in your life. Yeah, they'll come. And they'll come by the way of Hashatan, just to rob you of your ultimate victory through the situation. We see here when Mashiach was in the wilderness and he withstood Hashatan by keeping his mind on the law, that once he overcame Hashatan by keeping his mind on the law, the angels came and ministered to him, meaning they helped him. They helped him. And after that, he performed many miracles. That was his level up. So what y'all have to realize is when you're going through that wilderness, yeah, it may suck at the time. It may very well be challenging. It may be like, dang, man, you know, like, shit, what am I supposed to do? It may just be like that. But you have to endure. You have to stay prayed up. You have to keep faith. You can't be trying to take no shortcuts, because if you take shortcuts, that's exactly what Hashatan wants you to do. He wants to destroy you. So he's going to work all he can to try to finesse you out of that ultimate blessing and being exalted by Yah out of the scenario to be leveled up. He wants to take that level up away. Anytime you're in the wilderness, Mashpakah, if you're in the wilderness in your life, you're going through a level up. Always remember that. Always remember that. If you've been brought down low, it's just to shoot you back up into the sky at a higher altitude than you may have been before. Because Mashiach, as soon as he did that 40 days and 40 nights, he did many miracles than he did before. That's the same with us. So anytime you're about to level up, you're going to have devils to try to block you and stop you. Or Hashatan himself may pay you a visit and try to stop you and block you and finesse you out of that blessing. Don't finesse yourself out of your blessings. Second Corinthians chapter 11, verse 15. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. Further validation on what was just discussed there with the smooth talkers. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 6. Therefore, we are always confident, knowing that whilst we are at home in the body, we are absent from the Lord. So if we're at home in the body, that means we're moving carnally. Mashpakah. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 7. For we walk by faith, not by sight. For we walk by faith, not by sight. So yeah, those things may look bad. They may look like trash, right? Our faith is, hey, we're about to level up. You got to keep on pushing until you get that level up, till you get that ultimate victory. You always got to be thinking, oh, my victory is coming. My victory right around the corner. I will prevail. I will succeed. I will expand my territories. I will break the cycle of these generational curses. Whatever it is you're facing, you have to reaffirm yourself that you will prevail through the power of Yahweh by Yahweh Shah. You have to reaffirm that and always keep that at the forefront of your mind and not let the heaviness of mind subdue that faith. See, when you're walking by sight, all of the undesirable circumstances can eat away at your faith. Therefore, you must walk by the faith and not by the sight, not by the carnal, not going by what things appear to be. Second Corinthians chapter 5, verse 8. We are confident, I say, and willing rather to be absent from the body and to be present with the Lord. Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So that's why we don't walk by the sight. We walk by faith. Hebrews 11:6. But without faith it's impossible to please him. For he that cometh to Yah must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. So you can't please Yah if you don't have faith. You can't please him. If you're walking by sight and not by faith, you can't please Yah. So if you can't please Yah, if you're not going to please Yah, he's not going to help you. That's how it works. So Hashatan and that spiritual wickedness wants to take you away from your faith, so that way you can't please Yah, and that way you're more susceptible to the damage and destruction and death that spiritual wickedness wants to have you in. That's how this stuff works. Mashbaka. Again, it's all spiritual warfare. You can get more into that in the previous live stream I did on that. I broke it all down through that. Second Corinthians chapter 10, verse 3. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. Verse 4, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yah to the pulling down of strongholds. So everything that we're talking about that's contrary to the wickedness, to the dread, to the anguish that goes on in our own minds that we have to combat while in the wilderness of our life, everything that's opposite of that is spiritual weaponry. Walking by faith and not by sight, that's spiritual weaponry. Dwelling on the simplicity of Mashiach and his example, spiritual weaponry. Going to our laws, statutes, and commandments to combat the spiritual wickedness that speaks into our minds, spiritual weaponry. Dwelling on an expected end of victory, success, and power, spiritual weaponry. Positive affirmations that are backed by Yahweh's business, his righteousness, and his kingdom, spiritual weaponry. All that is spiritual weaponry. Second Corinthians chapter 10, verse 5, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of Yah, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Mashiach. Spiritual weaponry. So moving contrary to what Hashatan wants you to do is casting down those imaginations that works against us and tries to exalt itself over the knowledge of Yah. That tries to take away the simplicity of Mashiach and his example for us to follow. Spiritual weaponry. You must use spiritual weaponry while you're in the wilderness, Mashbaka. Whatever your challenges may be, whatever your situation may be, where it has you in the state of wilderness, spiritual weaponry must be used. You might as well be walking with that sword of the spirit already drawn out. Don't put it back on your hip. Keep that thing out while you're in the wilderness. Keep that sword of the spirit out. Ready to slice up any type of spiritual wickedness that presents itself to you. That's how you have to be out here while you're walking through the wilderness. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 2. For we dare not make ourselves of the number or compare ourselves with some else, but they measuring themselves by themselves and comparing themselves among themselves are not wise. So we shouldn't be comparing our situation to anybody else's, and we shouldn't be comparing ourselves to a latter time. We should be present in the moment with all thanksgiving and faith. Here's another thing to dwell on, spiritual weaponry. Isaiah 54:17, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. No weapon formed against thee shall prosper. No weapon formed against thee shall prosper. And every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment, thou shalt condemn. Every tongue that rises against you in judgment, you shall condemn. Because this is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, Yahweh, and their righteousness is of me, saith Yahweh. So we got to keep that in mind too, because Hashatan will want us to forget that no weapon formed against us shall prosper. If we forget that these weapons can't prosper on us, then they're going to prosper if we forget that, because our faith is no longer there. And on top of that benefit, every tongue that rises against us in judgment, we shall condemn. So that means we need to be condemning Hashatan and all these spiritual wickedness that has us move mentally, physically, and spiritually in the opposite direction of the victory of Mashiach. How do you condemn these devils and Hashatan? Through the word of Yah. That's how you condemn them, just like Mashiach did in Matthew chapter 4. Isaiah chapter 4, Salah. Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. Yeah, I will help thee. Yeah, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. That's from Yahweh himself. Isaiah 44 and 10. Salah. Isaiah 44 and 8. Fear ye not, neither be afraid. Have not I told thee from that time and have declared it? Ye are even my witnesses. Is there a Elohim besides me? Yeah, there is no Elohim. There is no God. I know not any. Now, you have some who are idolatrous, right? What does Yah say about those idolaters here? One moment, Mashpakah. Salat, one moment. Excuse me. Okay. So let's see what he says about those who are idolaters, right? When we encounter idolaters while we're in our moment of wilderness, let's see what Yah says about that. This is Isaiah 44:9. They that make a graven image are all of them vanity, and their delectable things shall not profit. And they are their own witnesses. They see not nor know, that they may be ashamed. Who hath formed a god or molten a graven image that is profitable for nothing? Verse 11, behold, all his fellows shall be ashamed, and the workmen, they are of men. Let them all be gathered together. Let them stand up. Yet they shall fear, and they shall be ashamed together. So don't envy those who worship money or worship anything outside of the Most High. Don't envy them in their success and their appearance of prosperity and abundance. Don't envy that, because they shall be ashamed. As Yahweh says here, they shall meet their demise. Back to Mashiach here. Matthew chapter 6, verse 24. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve Yah and Mammon. Matthew 6:25. Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, nor yet for your body, what ye shall put on. Is not the life more than the meat, and the body than raiment? So this is another spiritual weapon in the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Most High by the way of Mashiach on how we avoid afflicting ourselves in our own counsel. Don't think of tomorrow. Don't take any thought into your life like that of what you're going to eat and what you're going to drink. Verse 26, behold, the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns. Yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are ye not much better than they? Just think about that. You go outside, you see birds flying and stuff, right? They have nowhere near the dominion that we have of this world, yet they're taken care of. I repeat, the birds that you see outside when you step outside, they don't have nowhere near the dominion you have, yet they're living their lives and taken care of. So they're living carefree. They're enjoying their life as a bird. They're being provided for by the Most High, yet they are nowhere near as better than you. You have dominion over them. So with the dominion that you have over them, they're doing better than you. That's what Mashiach is saying. Are you not much better than they? Let's reiterate that. Matthew chapter 6, verse 25. Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, nor yet for your body, what ye shall put on. Is not the life more than meat, and the body than raiment? Verse 26. Behold, the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns. Yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are ye not much better than they? So when you start to fall into your heaviness of mind because of the challenges you're facing while you're in the wilderness, are you not much better than a bird? Matthew chapter 6, verse 27. Which of you by taking thought can add 1 cubit unto his stature? And why take ye thought for raiment? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They toil not, neither do they spin. So the lilies of the field, they grow, they don't move, they don't do any work, but they prosper. They grow in the field. Verse 29, and yet I say unto you that even Solomon, even Shalamah, and all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. So the lilies of the field were of fresher presentation than Malak Shalamah and all his glory and wealth. And all they do is exist. So why are you tripping over your challenges while you're in the wilderness? If birds can be fed and taken care of and they aren't nowhere near as powerful as you, and lilies of the field can be fresh and glorious in their presentation, and they don't even move. Why are you tripping over the challenges that you're facing? Because 9 times out of 10, Mashpaka, the challenges you're facing are from the perverse constructs of Babylon. Whatever challenges you're facing is an effect of the constructs of Babylon. So you mean to tell me you're letting Babylon make you forget your power? You're letting the woes of Babylon and its confused and failing structure, because Babylon is falling as we speak, you're letting its circumstances affect your life that much to where you're of heaviness of mind, and you're afflicting yourself in your own counsel because of its confused system that you so happen to be tied up in. When the birds, all they do is fly and sing and they're taken care of. The lilies of the field, all they do is exist and they're taken care of. And you're better than the birds of the air and the lilies of the field, yet you're struggling with your faith and confidence because of some challenges that a confused system of Hashatan has presented to you. Matthew chapter 6, verse 30. Wherefore, if Yah so clothe the grass of the field, which today is and tomorrow is cast into the oven, shall he not much more clothe you, O ye of little faith? Huh? I said, wherefore, if Yah so clothe the grass of the field, which today is and tomorrow is cast into the oven, shall he not much more clothe you, O ye of little faith? Therefore take no thought, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or wherewithal shall we be clothed? For after all these things do the Gentiles seek. For your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of all these things. Again, Babylon system. You know, the Gentiles fall in line with Babylon. It's their system. So they think of these things. Why are you thinking of these things? When you have far much more power than that. Did you not forget that the Most High is our power, our strength and power? 2 Samuel 22 and 23. Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. But seek ye first the kingdom of Yah and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Take therefore no thought for tomorrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 16. Rejoice evermore. Pray without ceasing. Verse 18. In everything give thanks, for this is the will of Yah and Mashiach Yahushua concerning you. Verse 19, quench not the spirit. Verse 20, despise not prophesying. Verse 21, prove all things and hold fast that which is good. Verse 22, abstain from all appearance of evil. Now, though you be in the wilderness and though you may see the prosperity of the wicked, here's what you're supposed to do. Be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them. This is Proverbs chapter 24, verse 1. Be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them. Verse 2, for their heart studieth destruction, and their lips talk of mischief. Proverbs 24, verse 16. For a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief. So as I said earlier before at the beginning of this video, Mashpaka, Hashatan will try to use your slip-ups against you. When you actually slip up and fall and transgress the law, he'll try to magnify that against you and say you're not worthy of nothing. But see, that guilt that he tries to afflict, it gets trumped by Proverbs 24:16. For a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief. So a just man can fall multiple times and get right back up. So that wilderness, that moment of wilderness in your life, you may have fell down, but guess what? You can get right back up. A wicked person is just going to fall into further mischief. Proverbs 24:17. Rejoice not when thy enemy falleth, and let not thine heart be glad when he stumbleth. Lest Yahweh see it, and it displeaseth him, and he turneth away his wrath from him. Verse 19. Fret not thyself because of evil men, neither desire Salakia, neither be thou envious at the wicked. Proverbs 24:20. For there shall be no reward to the evil man. The candle of the wicked shall be put out. So while you're in your wilderness and you see the prosperity of the wicked, that's what you must remember. Don't be envious of them. Don't desire what they have. Don't be jealous because they're at a state of ease, because their candle's soon to be put out. Don't afflict yourself in your own counsel. Keep your mind away from heaviness. Meditate on the positivities of Yah. Remember that Yah is your strength and power. Remember that you can do all things through Mashiach. I'll leave it as that. May peace, serenity, and prosperity be multiplied unto you all. Shalom.